Good job, Mike. Let me get this cord out of the way. So. Okay, they're going to need a few minutes to set up for the next act, so you know what that means.
You have another joke?
I've got just one more.
One more?
Yep.
Okay.
I think. Okay, well, actually, Pat and Mike, two Irish fellows, became astronauts, and they were really excited. And they were sitting in on a briefing, and they got all done. And Pat says to Mike, "Now, you know, I sat through this whole thing, and I don't know." He said, "Where did they say we were going to?" And Mike says, "Well, now, don't you pay attention to these things?" He said, "They said we're going to the sun." The other one says, "Well, we're going to the sun. Don't you think that's kind of hot over there?" He said, "No, you fool, we're going at night."
Last one.
That's it, folks. But you know, before we get too far along, we have a lot of fun putting these shows on. We start usually mid to late January, and who's going to do what, and acts come along, and they were fine and things. A lot of work goes into it, but your applause makes it all worth it. It's enjoyment, it's fun. We hope you enjoy it. We think you do. I haven't had to dodge an egg yet.
George and I last night, so you're all set.
George and I have been doing this a long.
Yeah, we have.
Well, not that long, but you know.
2 years. 2 years. But, in fact.
Are you ready? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's ready. Okay, so here's our the Pencil Song with Bill Burtt. Pay attention now. I think you'll enjoy this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
I can't see beyond my loop. As most of you are aware, I'm a retired helicopter pilot and have many, many good stories that I could probably tell. And most of us helicopter pilots, every time we landed, there seemed to be always an audience there. And every time we landed, the Phineas skirt was blowing up from the downwash of our helicopter blades. And sometimes it did it on purpose. Anyway, I used to land downtown Halifax quite often, and this is before I met my lovely lady, Gloria there. I met this other girl that she seemed to be there every time I landed. So we kind of became friends, if you know what I mean. But that friendship soon went south. Let me explain. All right, I can learn how to play that. I met this girl. She was just great. A girl that I just adored. The problem was, she had much more than I had bargained for. She had that style, she had that smile, she had the walk, she had the talk. She had that zing, and there was just one thing. She had a penis. She had that flair, she knew what to wear. She had that face, the girl is grace. She had the zazz. Too bad she had a penis. There's always some failure, always some flaw. Ain't that Paul Murphy's law? But male genitalia, that's where I draw the line. Besides, yours was bigger than mine. My life is a mess caused under stress because she had a P-E-N-I-S thing. I'm not quite I'm not quite over yet. I gotta take this fuzzy thing off. I worked for the Nova Scotia government for 40 years. I flew helicopters, and what this little bit of a story that I'm going to tell you, and it won't take very long, but in fact it is kind of related to that song I just sang. We had 5 helicopters, 4 small ones, there were 5-seaters and 1 15-seater. And the registrations in Canada are canonic, which is and in the United States, they're registered by numbers. So our helicopters in Nova Scotia, for instance, was one of them was Charlie Golf, Papa November Sierra. The other one was Charlie Foxtrot, Papa November Sierra. So my job was, number one, at the top was search and rescue, and went to forest fires and went down the line to wildlife and game preserves and so on and so forth. Right at the very bottom was politicians. This is a true story. No, this is true. Anyways, these Papa November Sierra is province of Nova Scotia. So, which we were kind of honored to have the 2 helicopters with that name on them. But I'm going to give you a little scenario. I have to go from our hangar down to Halifax City to pick up a couple of people. So I'm just going to relate it to you. I'm lifting off. I say, Halifax Tower, this is helicopter. Charlie Golf, Papa November Sierra. Halifax Tower says, Papa November Sierra, go ahead. I said, I would like clearance through your zone to the city of Halifax. Halifax Tower says, Roger, Papa November Sierra, cleared through the zone, 500 feet, follow the highway down. Okay, thank you, Papa November Sierra. So I'm flying down the road, and then the airport is 550 feet. So now that we've made the contact of Papa November Sierra, I don't have to do that anymore. All I got to do is send letters. So I got to go up over the hill. So he says, Halifax Tower, this is pianist. Roger, pianist, go ahead. I'd like to raise 100 feet to get over the hill. Roger, pianist, raise to 600 feet. Okay, thank you, pianist. So it only takes about 2 minutes to go over across the airport down to the other side of the hill. So then I call again. Halifax Tower, this is pianist. Roger, pianist, go ahead. I'd like to lower down to 500 feet again. Roger, pianist, go ahead. Thank you very much, pianist. So in another 5 minutes, I have to call again, say, Halifax Tower, this is pianist. I'm clearing your zone. Roger, pianist, you're cleared, and go into the shearwater control zone. So I go into shearwater, we do this all over again. I say I want to land at Canard's Wharf. So Shearwater says, okay, pianist, you're cleared into Canard's Wharf, and call landing. So I call landing. My point being, I guess, we had 2 helicopters. This was a half an hour scenario. We had 2 helicopters, Charlie Golf, Papa November Sierra, Charlie Foxtrot, Papa November Sierra. For 2 years, we traveled from Halifax to Moncton to Bangor to Yarmouth to Sydney, and everybody that we talked to the pianist, everybody heard us. It's all recorded, and air traffic control, if you realize, is very serious, very, very strict. So, very comical. You could just imagine, listen to the people laughing in the other airplanes that were listening to us talk back and forth. So after 2 years, finally, we managed to get through to Transport Canada that the P&S business was really not a good thing to keep on saying for the next 30 years. So we managed to get Transport Canada to give us patrol numbers. So our the big helicopter went to Patrol 2 and the smaller one went to Patrol 10. I'm just moving on now. On our way down here to Florida, my wife and I had to stop at the hotel at the airport, spend the night, so we get on the airplane in the morning. Known to me that our big helicopter was sold to a company in Yorkton, Saskatchewan. And when we got to the hotel, there at the end of the runway was this helicopter, Charlie Golf, Papa November Sierra. So the scenario now is started all over again in Saskatchewan. It's P&S. Thank you very much for listening to my